Of the dating of the Hasidic movement, which actually, of course, did not begin with the birth of the Baal Shem Tov, but in his when he was approximately 30 years old, when he finally revealed himself as an author of this teaching, which was based on a variety of course, authentic sources that brought in aspects of Kabbalah. The Baal Shem Tov had been a member of a group called the Tzadikim Nistarim, the Hidden Righteous, and they would travel around and give chizuk, meaning moral support, especially to simple people who, without their proper Torah training, and sadly, based on the condescending attitude of many of the more scholarly Jews, were often neglected spiritually, and they would tell them how important their service to God is, because indeed, as Hasidus emphasizes, but it is logical that for the infinite God, the offering, so to speak, and the service of the simple person is no less than that of the great person. And so that is exactly what these Nistarim, these hidden righteous people would do, and that in fact will be the background of the story I'm going to tell. So that is what was later characterized this movement taught by the Baal Shem Tov and by his students that he surrounded him, came to call Hasidism. You know, I studied music, and when we studied music history, you have the Baroque period, Bach, Handel. Then you have the classical period, Haydn, Mozart. Then you have the Romantic period, Schubert, Brahms, Wagner. Then the modern period. And, of course, they always give you these dates. And, of course, you start thinking it's 1830. It's time to start composing romantic music. It doesn't work that way, obviously. It's a trend that was superimposed upon these fashions and, so to speak, of modes and artistically later on. And, so too, when I speak about the beginnings of the Hasidic movement, or the beginning of the Chabad movement, the Rebbe of Chabad, who was called the Liozner Magid, actually, Shner Zalman, who had the birthday the same day, the author of the Tanya, which is a seminal work of Hasidic thought and Jewish thought in general, passed away in 1812. And all the way up until certainly until the tenure of the sixth Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, who was born in 1880 rather, and passed away in 1950. The Hasidic movement, which was the Chabad Lubavitch movement, was strictly a Hasidic movement in that sense that it was distinguished by a deep philosophy and a variety of other characteristics, but not per se connected to the broad outreach. And now in 2019, when you say Chabad, you think of emissaries traveling to all parts of the world and finding a rabbi in Iceland and so on, but no less than you would find one in Long Island in New York. That was something which was launched by the Seventh Lubavitcher Rebbe entirely in the spirit and according to the teachings of the Chabad teachings, but until then it was not really an outreach movement. So we must remember that when I speak about the founder of the Chabad movement, born in 1745 and passed away in 1812, we're talking about a Hasidic rabbi whose students were by and large other Hasidic Jews. It was usually populace. We're talking obviously numbering in the thousands, not in the hundreds. And so there we have the two birthday celebrants of the 18th day of Elul. So now let me move in the very next tape to the stories that I want to tell.